The world breathed a sigh of relief as Qatar's prime minister announced a delicate ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. This wasn't just a pause in the violence, it was a deal with a heavy price, the release of hostages held by Hamas in exchange for the promise of peace. The news came after weeks of intense negotiations culminating in a final, grueling session that stretched until the pre-dawn hours in the Qatari capital. For the Biden administration, this deal represented the culmination of months of painstaking diplomacy. Brett McGurk, a seasoned diplomat with years of experience in the Middle East, had been tasked with finding a solution to the hostage crisis. On the other side of the negotiating table sat a formidable adversary, Hamas, the militant group that controls the Gaza Strip. Hamas had long demanded concessions from Israel, including the release of Palestinian prisoners, in exchange for the freedom of the hostages. The stakes were incredibly high. The lives of innocent civilians, both Israeli and Palestinian, hung in the balance. The pressure was on, and the world watched with bated breath as the negotiators raced against time. At the heart of this diplomatic breakthrough was an unlikely partnership. Brett McGurk, representing the outgoing Biden administration, found himself working alongside Steve Witkoff, an envoy dispatched by the incoming Trump administration. Despite their political differences and the looming transition of power, the two men recognized the urgency of the situation and the need to present a united front. McGurk, known for his deep understanding of the region's complexities, brought to the table his years of experience negotiating with Hamas. Witkoff, on the other hand, brought a fresh perspective and the full weight of the incoming Trump administration behind him. His direct style and no-nonsense approach added a new dynamic to the negotiations. The two men developed a close working relationship, coordinating their efforts and sharing intelligence. They divided up meetings, strategized together, and presented a united front to Hamas. This unusual collaboration was a testament to the shared sense of purpose that transcended partisan politics. The cooperation between the Biden and Trump teams was unprecedented. In the midst of a fraught political transition, these two administrations found common ground. The shared goal, securing the release of innocent hostages, trumped any partisan divide. The two teams worked hand in glove, sharing information, coordinating strategy, and dividing up tasks. They recognized that success depended on presenting a united front to Hamas, leaving the group with no room to exploit any perceived divisions. This approach proved critical in keeping the negotiations on track. Despite their differing backgrounds and political affiliations, McGurk and Witkoff developed a strong working relationship based on mutual respect and a shared sense of urgency. Their ability to put aside partisan differences for the greater good was a testament to their professionalism and dedication to diplomacy. This unusual alliance sent a powerful message to the world, that even in the face of deep political divisions, the United States could come together to address pressing global challenges. The path to the Doha Agreement was far from smooth. For months the situation had seemed intractable. Hamas, wary of appearing weak, initially refused to even disclose the number of hostages it held, let alone their identities. This lack of transparency frustrated negotiators and cast a long shadow over the talks. Momentum for a deal began to build after a separate ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon. This breakthrough, while unrelated to the hostage situation, created a more favorable climate for diplomacy. Trump's surprise victory in the U.S. election injected a new sense of urgency into the negotiations. The final negotiations in Doha were tense and drawn out, lasting until the early hours of the morning. But in the end, the desire for peace and the shared goal of bringing the hostages home prevailed. The ceasefire for hostage deal, announced in the pre-dawn hours of a new year, represented a fragile victory. It was a testament to the persistence of diplomacy, the power of cooperation, and the unwavering commitment to bringing innocent people home. Both Biden and Trump, despite their bitter rivalry, were quick to claim credit for the deal. Biden hailed it as a vindication of his administration's commitment to diplomacy and its unwavering focus on securing the release of the hostages. Trump presented it as an early triumph for his incoming administration, a sign of his deal-making prowess and his commitment to putting America's interests first. The deal, while a significant achievement, left many questions unanswered. The underlying issues that have fueled the conflict for decades, the status of Jerusalem, the fate of Palestinian refugees, the expansion of Israeli settlements, remained unresolved. As the world celebrated the release of the hostages, there was a sober recognition that the hard work was just beginning. It would take sustained commitment, dialogue, and compromise from all sides to translate this fragile truce into a lasting peace.